Hi, this is my worm bin. It's a bathtub worm bin because everything's bathtub in my field. The bathtub is up on pallets and on blocks to raise it off the ground. The plug hole, I put a pipe in there so that the the juices, when a worm breaks things down, it produces a lot of juices, and they call it worm tea, and it's good for your garden. It fertilizes plants, and I use it as a fertilizer, as in to feed my plants. In the actual worm bin, if you go back, you can watch me rebuild this worm bin, which is what I've done, and just show you. So as you can see, it's got banana leaves on the top. There are a few tomatoes in here that have been eaten by vermin, by mice and that. My friend kindly gave me this. It's got a screen on, and it's a mesh screen top to go on it so that the animals, the vermin, don't get in and eat it, eat anything that I'm putting in, as in vegetable scraps and things. So I'm just gonna dig a hole because I've got some more vegetable scraps which I want to put in. So I'm going to dig a hole to put that in, and then I'm going to add some worms which I've just received through the post. So this bit of veg, I've got some more in a bag which I'm going to put in. There's a big spider in there as well. And there's some tomato plant leaves as well, bung them in the hole. Right, so as you can see, there's a few old tomatoes that I haven't managed to eat. Although I do eat a lot of tomatoes because I grow a lot of tomatoes. There's eggshells, try and break them up if you can. Onion peels, there's a bit of aubergine. Sorry, there isn't. There's a bit of courgette there as well. So that's what I'm feeding them. That's their food, and I shall cover that up like this. Just shut all this. It's wood chip as the bedding. Oh, there's a bit of seed packet there. So that's the bedding, as I say, and the worms will break this down as time goes on. And it's actually dropped quite a bit since I put it in there. And I've got some worms, so I'm going to put the worms next to the food source, just in here. What I will do first is I'm going to water the worm bin. So I've just watered the worm bin as well, put a can with a rose on it of water on the worm bin. I put all the banana leaves to one side. This is what I put over the top, and it just sort of keeps it darker and all that sort of thing. And I'll just now add the worms. So this is the people that supply the worms. So you can see, if you want worms for yourself, they're called Yorkshire Worms, and they must compost a lot of things because they supplied me with these worms. And they've put a little thing on the back so that you can see what worms need, which I've supplied in this worm bin. Can't remember whether I got 250 grams or 500 grams. I think it's like 250 grams of worms. And I'm just going to release them. Now, these are Red Wriggler worms. I've had them before, and the last lot sort of went in when I composted my inside of my field with the worm castings and the compost. When I emptied this bathtub out, basically, they went onto the ground. So these are new, and I'm just going to, I put them in like that. I think they come in a bit of koi fibre, and I'm just going to cover them over like that. There we go. These will live happily ever after in my worm bin. Yorkshire Worms is who they are, and yeah, yorkshireworms.co.uk. If you want to get worms for yourself for your own worm bin, Red Wriggler worms, then, and there's a spider in here that'll stop any flies and things like that as well. So the worms are in. The worm bin's set up. It's been set up for quite a while. Like I say, I've just watered it, so they'll have plenty of places to live. They'll breed, they'll reproduce. There'll be more worms in here in no time at all. A breed, like I say, and they've got a good top on them now, thanks to my friend Jake, who kindly gave me this top off his old worm bin. I'm just going to cover the leaves over. That makes it a little bit darker for them. There's another English house spider in here, just noticed. Where's it gone? There it is. Can you see it down here? There it is. That's a male. So we've got a male and a female, I think, in here. Anyway, The worms have somewhere to live. This is my worm bin. I'll be feeding it from now on with veggie and fruit scraps, eggshells and the such like. If you want to make your own worm bin, go back and look at me redoing the worm bin. It's good to have a top on it that's got mesh on it and that's got a screen on it. It'll stop the flies as well, keeps them in there and not in the polytunnel. I can hear it trickling, which is water running out the bottom where I've just topped it up with, just sprinkled it with water basically. And that's it with the top on. So it's got a nice mesh, chicken mesh, small holes. There is a bit of a gap over here, but I'll put something over it, like a block or something. You can put cardboard, newspaper, all that sort of thing on top of your worm bin as well, and that'll get broken down by the worms. And I just got to put some weight on the top just to hold it in place. Some blocks of wood, which I'm going to do that with. And that's it. So like I say, if you want to have a worm bin, do get yourself like a bathtub. You can do it, you can buy a worm bin that's ready made, or you can make your own out of whatever you want, bathtub or all sorts of things. You can make it out of an old composting bin. You can do it in trays. There's lots of things. If you go online, especially on YouTube, it's a wonderful thing, YouTube, that teaches you how to make these different amazing things like worm bins. So there we go. This is my worm bin made. I've added the worms. It's got the top on, stop the vermin from getting in, digging it out and eating anything. And that's it. Anyway, that's me and my polytunnel. So if you fancy keeping worms and having a worm bin, you can make it out of all sorts of things. Like I said, there's loads of stuff online on eBay. eBay, there's also stuff on Amazon, and there's stuff on all different things. There's also you can watch videos on how to make it yourself, or you can just make a bathtub one. Get a bathtub, get some pallets, put them around the outside, stand it on the top, make sure they're fixed so there's a frame, stand it on the top, put a pipe down the bottom that goes into a bucket. Make sure you save all that lovely juice, which is worm tea. Disgusting. Make sure you get yourself if you can, get yourself a mesh frame to go over the top. This one's got a screen on as well. Then just weigh it down. That'll stop any vermin, mice, rats, anything like that getting in and eating it. And yeah, they are from yorkshireworms.co.uk. yorkshire-worms.co.uk, and there's the number at the bottom as well. If you want to get worms yourself, to make a worm bin. I've had a worm bin. I've had a bit of time off, about sort of 6 months off, not having a worm bin because it was so hot this summer, and I put all the compost onto the ground. This is them again, and there you go, what they need if you're doing it yourself.